Hey YouTube, welcome back again. So now that we are done with all the Cloud9 floppy CSGO news from the last video, we have got new interesting news right here on the screen in the right side or left side with oBo. So recently oBo has announced that he has left Complexity from the active lineup, and as a result he has been benched from Complexity lineup too. So the main reason behind this was oBo, as far as my understanding goes, oBo returned to NA because he was feeling a little bit homesick. Now, that can be a case for a 16-year-old kid like himself, like oBo is, to be returning to NA based on the situations or the current COVID situation that's currently happening. With that being said, it's all fair and it's all fair play between oBo and Complexity, and there has not been any bad blood between these two, between him and the organization as such. Now that oBo is gone from Complexity, that leaves us with the options of where he could be joining in the future. Maybe in the upcoming 3 months, maybe in the next year or early next year, which is always a possibility. Given his confrontations that he would likely be staying in NA from the intentions that we got after him leaving Complexity. So if that happens, then there are quite a few teams that might be looking at oBo as an impactful player or as a prospect of joining their team. Number one, we would go with GenG. Now, why I chose GenG in this case is, first of all, they have lost Daps as the in-game leader not recently enough. So Daps gone. GenG is kind of a rough situation wherein their identity is lost in such a way that their structure doesn't exist anymore. Kusta has taken up in GenG the role of taking on the IGL and giving the strats to the team. Now, I don't know how far that would go or how beneficial would be that to the team, as they would be looking for an active replacement for Daps. With that being said, oBo by far cannot do the IGL role, and as far as I know, I have not seen him do the IGL role in any of the matches that Complexity has played against top teams in the world. Now, going back to oBo's player profile, I could say that he is one of the most experienced individuals apart from the NA major winners that exist in the scene. Why? Because he has been playing in Complexity against top teams in the EU region and not in the NA region. So Complexity has been away in the EU region for almost, like 4 to 5 months now because of the COVID situation. And they have been playing all their matches, all the tournaments in the EU region and not in the NA region. So the main plan for Complexity was to come back to the NA after the COVID situation ends. But now that we do not have any clarity, or the Complexity organization do not have any clarity on when that might be, they might be taking a route completely EU with the players that is currently in the roster. Now that oBo is finally back in NA, and given the situation that GenG is currently in, I would say oBo can be a good replacement for either Daps or, as reportedly, Som also leaving CS, which might be a huge overhaul to the entire CSGO roster of GenG. oBo could well be a good replacement for Som, wherein Som has dipped quite a bit after their DreamHack Anaheim results, where the entire tournament was won by GenG with their first appearance of the entire lineup. Now, because of the online CS affecting many players all across the world, I would say Som has also dipped quite a bit. With that being said, oBo can be definitely a great impact player in the team if they are looking for a replacement for Som, and if they are looking for a rebuild around oBo. Now, oBo can be a great clutch player, as he has been in Complexity, and also a very impactful one if they use him properly. Now, the role that oBo played in Complexity, I would say, it's kind of a support role. Obviously, I wouldn't give him the benefit of being the best player in the team. In my opinion, the best player or the most impactful player in the team was by far BlameF and then Config. But with him, him being the third best, he having the third best rating in the team, I would say he is definitely a worth pickup, giving the situation that he has a long career along the road. He's just 17 years old. So the day he left Complexity, maybe the day he was turning 17, he was still 16 by the time. So 16 years old, he has achieved so much, maybe much more money than any 16 years old could even think of at that point. And also having that experience to play in EU region is huge, I would say. So NA teams keep an eye out on this guy whenever he's available or whenever he is willing to play in a team. I would say, in my opinion, to oBo, there's a suggestion that wait out till the rest of the 2020 till the year ends, and then maybe beginning of next year, I'm expecting there are a lot of roster changes that's going to happen. With that being said, because of the performance, latest performance, and also the major contention too. So if that happens, oBo might be one of the great players that that any team could pick up, because he has been such an integral part of the current complexity roster too. So with that, with him gone from the roster, I'm not sure what Complexity has in their mind. They are also trialing out Nate or Safix as a stand-in basis for their upcoming tournaments, Pro League Pro League matches. But then we just have to see who they make as a replacement. I mean, now the Complexity is all done and dusted. I think so. oBo's new home might be GenG, where GenG. If not GenG, I have another team in mind, which is the current Cloud9 or the former ATK roster. You have already, if you haven't seen my last video, please go ahead and click on that video and watch the entire video as to why I think Floppy is a great addition to the new C9 CSGO lineup. Because DK has already reported that Floppy might be joining the new Cloud9 lineup, which they're calling the Colossal C9. So yeah, if that happens, there will be a place available in the current C9 roster of including MOTM, OC, in place of Floppy. If oBo joins, that's great, or else JT and Sonic. So those four players would be standing in, and then oBo, if it's a possibility, or if they have contention of, the possibility of oBo joining the current C9 roster, I think so that's a great addition as well, because in my opinion, oBo is one step ahead of Floppy, even though they both play the same kind of roles of a lurker or support role. I would say oBo is far more experienced than Floppy, as Floppy is just proven in the NA region, and he has not been proven as such in the EU region at all. I mean, oBo has done so much in the EU region, placing against top teams like Vitality, FaZe, NIP, even Astralis. They 2-0'd them in a tournament in Astralis. So that's a great achievement, I would say, for the Complexity, as well as oBo, giving him the confidence that he needs. As a 17-year-old kid, he has done too much you would ask him for. So with that being said, with his experience down the line of playing so many great matches, playing so many overtimes and impactful rounds, playing clutching so many rounds for the team, I would say he's a great individual to be in contention for joining great organizations as well as great teams in NA. As we have learned that oBo is primarily looking for teams in NA, or not currently. Well, he has the intention of joining any NA team if the offer's good. So I'd say currently, these two are the prime contentions of oBo joining GenG and Cloud9. With that also being said, I have heard rumors that JKS and JKM from 100 Thieves, CSGO lineup of course, they have been given offers from other major organizations, probably top 10 teams in the world, looking out for those two players. If that's the case, I would say oBo might be a very good addition to 100 Thieves as well. So I mean, he has many situations or for many lineups to join if he does feel that he might be a very impactful player for those teams. But with that being said, I would say that oBo has to decide on where to go, and with the year ending, I think so we are almost done with 3/4 of 2020. It's a good decision to wait the entire 2020 out, and then maybe beginning of next year, if there are any good teams that has any new teams that have got the place for oBo to join, I think so he would be good addition. See, as far as I am concerned, EG will not be making any changes of substance, because last 4 to 5 months they have been in such a good form and winning so many tournaments. NA of course, and then recently they have had 7 to 8 match streak, win streak Pro League. I mean that's ridiculous, of course. So yeah, I don't think so EG would be making any changes as of such. But of course, Liquid there, I could be seeing some changes. Grim from this since Nitro has left the game and moved on to Valorant, and the new addition Grim. Of course, they have good results with Grim as such, but there's no noticeable performance hikes in the team whenever we see. So they have been placed like 4th or 5th or last. They have been moved out in the first place in playoff contentions as well in the ESL Pro League NA Tour. So I mean that team itself is not doing so good right now. So maybe it's a possibility that by the end of the year they are benching someone from the team, possibly Graham, and maybe picking up oBo. If that's the case, I think so. oBo again would be a great addition to the team, bringing in so much experience from EU region. See, the thing what happens with Stewie as well. See, Stewie wouldn't be the player he is as of now if he wouldn't have joined MIBR from moving on from Cloud9 after they won the major. If he would have stayed in Cloud9, I do not think Stewie would have molded into such a player character he is as of now. The kind of player he is, the kind of performances that he put in, it would be impossible if he would have stayed with Cloud9. So it's a good thing that oBo has experienced that firsthand in EU with complexity, and now that he's back home in NA, I think so he would be a great use to any team that adds him in the lineup. So with that being said, we'll look at some of the player characteristics and the statistics that he has been accumulating till now. So the first up that we can see right here is he has a 1.11 rating. That's huge, given the fact that he has been competing majorly in the EU region. And also an ADR of 78.2, it's great. See, the thing is, HLTV ratings and statistics doesn't even matter that much because they don't tell you the full story of what the team culture was, how he was given the roles to play, and so on. But you know, these are raw statistics, and if these raw statistics are just as good as the player he is, I would say it's a catch for any team that's looking for a change. Then we would go to some of the matches that this guy has played. Okay. Before that, I would like to show you that versus top 50 opponents and progressively getting better and better as far as he is concerned, playing better teams. So if you see versus top 20 opponents, he has a rating of 1.07, and then moving on to top 5 opponents, it has increased drastically. 1.11 is a great improve. So what does that mean? He is a player that is very hungry to win matches and also frag out. This guy can frag out. He can have multiple clutch rounds as well as he can multi-frag in a single round wherever it's necessary. Let's show you the graph as well. So in complexity, I would say for the last 3 months, if we see from May, August, and September, of course, so he has been a hike of rise, man. This guy has been performing his hearts out. Obviously, it's because of Blame F, which has been putting so much work in the team, and him being the end result of the team's performance results. It's nothing like he was a great influential player in complexity as such, but being the youngest player in the team and also helping the team to reach top 5th position in the entire world is a great achievement. Is a great personal achievement, I would say. So he has a lot left in him in his tank for whoever is watching this video, or any players or anyone looking to hire this guy. Please go ahead and do that. I would say this is a very good chance of catching a player like this before he goes away with another team. Anyway, so let's look at some matches he has been playing against. That's the last match that he played against. I believe it was Complexity versus Vitality, where Complexity won 2-0 against Vitality. There you go, 16-11 and 16-10. So if we move on to the career, we could see the past 3 months he has been in a career high of 1.07 ratings. This again is online, so everything is online right now, right? So because of the COVID pandemic, everything that the matches have been played, all the 31 matches in the past 3 months have been online, and nothing has been on LAN. So you know, these ratings could drastically change when LAN comes along, probably in December or November. So when that happens, we could see oBo in a completely new team, and if that happens, I'm completely stoked to see this guy in a good team, especially GenG. If GenG actually figures out what role he wants to play in, and then gives him a well maintained, a well structured offer, maybe we could see oBo maybe we could see GenG oBo, and then maybe we could hype over on how he could be the next star player. See, the thing is, GenG has an identity crisis right now because Automatic being on the op, I never liked Automatic being on the op, and then Kusta doing the IGL role. In my opinion, that team needs a IGL. I am completely fine with Kusta doing it as of now, but as a fragger, if Som as reported leaves CSGO and moves on to Valorant, oBo has to be the only choice, right? See, if they add oBo, I think so it's a good cause, and they would have had many star players and many experienced players, especially oBo in his young tender age, to be of great use to that team, of course. Then we could say Cloud9, of course. He could be joining that team as well. But apart from these NA teams, I don't think so. He would be joining any tier two or tier three teams as such. I mean, it's a waste of talent if he joins in the tier three team, and it's best to wait out the entire season and then wait for good opportunities. So, with that being said, I would say this guy has huge potential because he's returning to NA, and since we all know that NA Counter Strike isn't the best Counter Strike, or the competition isn't the best, apart from the top teams like Liquid and EG. Of course, we can consider 100 Thieves as such. But apart from those three organizations or those three teams, there were no such teams that could contend them. So I would say if oBo goes in any one of those three teams, or even GenG if possible, and makes GenG a super team as such, I would say it's a good cause, and the end result is very good. So yeah, I mean, from my side, oBo, this kid is great, and any team who is not picking this kid up or is delaying a decision on picking up this kid, I mean, you need to rethink your decision and strategies of playing Counter Strike, man, of building a Counter Strike team. And I don't know how to put forth that. We are at the end of player analysis of oBo and what his future teams might look like. So the three options that I've mentioned were 100 Thieves, GenG as such, and then Cloud9. So these three teams, I would presumably hold GenG as the priority because they need a rifler on priority basis again. That brings us to the end of the video, and please hit that subscribe button and also smash that like button down below, and also ring that notification bell, because whenever I will be putting videos, I can see from analytics that 90% you're not watching it. So please go and do that. So until the next great news happens, this is me, Swinjadam, signing off, and we'll see you next time. Peace.